but neither has Trump, because he sat out all the Republican debates this time around. There's a chance that he will be equally as rusty, and the Biden team is betting that when Americans hear him again, they'll be reminded of the chaos of his 4 years, but also recognize he's even gotten worse. And we continue to learn more about his time in office, because now the former governor of Puerto Rico reportedly says that Trump talked to him about preparing for nuclear war while he was president. According to The Hill, which has obtained an excerpt from an upcoming memoir by Ricardo Rosselló, the conversation happened when Trump visited Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria in 2017. While overseeing the storm's damage from a helicopter, Trump allegedly told the ex-governor, quote, "Nature has a way of coming back. Well, it does until it doesn't. Who knows with nuclear warfare what will happen?" Trump then allegedly added, quote, "But I'll tell you what, if nuclear war happens, we won't be second in line pressing the button." In a statement to The Hill, a Trump campaign spokesperson did not deny that the former president made those remarks, but instead said that he abhors the idea of this kind of war. Gene Robinson, it seems like, if the governor is to be believed, that Trump brought this up out of nowhere. We know that while he was in office, there's been other reporting that he has a real preoccupation with these types of weapons. This seems like another moment to remind Americans to just, what those 4 years were like. And
what those 4 years were like, and remind Americans that comes with the job, right? That comes with the presidency. You have the nuclear suitcase trailing you around, and you can push the button. And I think, so when we talk about this, I think people need to realize that, you are entrusting this vast power to one of these two men. And now, you could argue that, both have successfully managed not to get us into nuclear wars during their presidential terms. Nonetheless, it does focus you on the stability and, frankly, the sanity of the two candidates. And, there are crises going on, but there can be a real crisis. You look at Russia and North Korea, this closer relationship, what Russia potentially is going to do to help North Korea better its nuclear program, so the North Koreans could hit any U.S. city potentially, which they can't do now. What does a U.S. president do then? And that's like a very real possibility. So who do you want, at the helm?
Well, no, this is a continuation of Trump's fascination with nuclear power. He's long fancied himself to be some nuclear specialist because he had an uncle who was some kind of scientist. MIT, and he's talked about it since the 80s. And he bragged, he would be, and he's scared countless journalists in the run-up to the election. He would do these off the records, and he would talk about nuclear. Mattis says nuclear's really bad. It's really, really bad. It says nothing after nuclear.
B-minus Trump impersonation.
I know. I'm not that good. So he seems to have a little bit of understanding that it causes widespread decimation and destruction, but he still just really doesn't grasp that. And it shows his fundamental instability and that he is crazy, which is what voters judge him on versus Biden and his age, and not being in judging his mental acuity. And Trump's is a mental acuity of the other side of the coin that he's never possessed. And so anything that the Biden campaign can do to draw that out and to draw out the existential stakes of Trump having the button, that's a good thing for the Biden campaign.
I was part of the presidential pool at Bedminster back in the summer of 2017 when Trump threatened fire and fury at Kim Jong-un in North Korea. So this is a very real possibility. And to your point, one potentially growing.
Watch that situation. That could get really, really bad really quick.
Yeah, we'll have more on that later in the show. Next up here on Morning Joe, 2 federal judges in Florida have reportedly